As I left Augusta to head into the depths of Grizzly Territory, I was enamoured with small town Augusta, its quirkiness and love of bees. 4 out of 5 bear sprays. Good morning. I am currently just walking to the outskirts of Augusta to get me to the road to Benchmark. I'm going to try and hitch and see how that goes. This is also what hiking is. Just sitting on the side of the road yet again while no cars go by. I don't even have shade this time. Made it back to the trailhead. As I was sitting on the side of the road, a lady came out of her house. She took pity on me. She'd seen me sitting there. She'd baked a batch of cookies and brought a Ziploc bag of cookies out for me, which was lovely. And as I was standing there talking to her, a hunter drove by, and he then turned around and came back and offered me a lift out. He was going all the way to the CDT trailhead, which was fantastic. So it was the best over an hour or so that I had to wait for that hitch. And now back on trail for a fairly long stretch. So it's over 120 miles, and because it's the Bob Marshall Wilderness, which is meant to be beautiful, I want to enjoy it and not rush through it. So I'm thinking it might take me about 6 days. So kind of prepared for 5 nights, 6 days into East Glacier. So the Bob Marshall Wilderness area that I am currently in, and Glacier National Park, are known for their high concentration of grizzlies along with Yellowstone. And I cannot tell you the amount of people in town and that you, like day hikers, that you hike by, who are like, well, watch out for grizzlies, hope you've got your bear spray. So that's good. And it doesn't help that I listened to a podcast where someone told a story where they got ripped from their tent by a grizzly bear and ended up dying. I feel like I'm okay with seeing one as I'm hiking along, because I can just grab my bear spray, and reports are bear spray is pretty good at getting grizzlies to back away. But when you're lying in your tent in a sleeping bag, you're just a human taco for them. I don't feel like there's much protection there. So I'm all for getting to Canada without seeing a grizzly or getting yanked out of my tent at night by one. I want to go back home. Our animals slither away. It's fine. Australia's great. Go there. Good morning. Survived night 1 in the Bob Marshall Wilderness in Grizzly Territory without getting ripped from my tent like a rag doll. Possibly helped that when I rocked up at camp, there was already 2 other hikers there. So, that lowered my chances. It was down to 1 in 3 that if a grizzly did come along, you'd take one of them first. That, or if the grizzly did choose me, that they might actually get out of their tents and pry me from the jaws of a grizzly bear. So 1 down, 4 more to go. Well, plus Glacier, but We're just going for this stretch to start with, survive to East Glacier and then worry about Glacier National Park. Just starting to come out of tree line and was greeted with my first view of the Chinese Wall. Hello, I am just stopped in the shade enjoying lunch. There's a lake over there. I'll take a video of that in a moment to show you. But when I'm at lunch, I usually look at my phone to work out where I should camp for the evening, because roughly by lunch I got a bit of an idea of the terrain and how much further I might be able to make it. So let me read you some of the comments for the campsites or junctions where there's possible camping, roughly around where I would end up at the end of today. Yes, I saw a big beautiful grizz about 100 yards from the trail here. Saw multiple grizzlies between here and the guard station Sobo. Next one. Also heard grizzlies growling in the distance at dusk and dawn when camped here, though did not experience a grizzly parade. And this is, next one, fresh wolf and grizzly tracks when we came through here. And this one is my favourite one. We were awoken at dusk and dawn to the sounds of massive grizzly feet padding by in the dirt. They growled in succession for over an hour and followed the trail back and forth between 50 and 100 feet away from us. 2, 3, 4 of them. We sat in our tents, holding our bear spray to our chests as we waited for these mammals to saunter around us. I'm not going to say we were in danger, but if a bear decided it wanted to try a decadent Bob-marinated metascule, then there was nothing stopping these Ursa's horrible eye from chowing down like a through hiker at a buffet in a trail town. Perhaps you should camp a few miles south or north of here if you don't want to experience the primal fear of camping with the largest apex predator on the North American continent. I love that comment. And it also sealed the deal that I am so not camping in that area. So there is an alternate that you can do. And I was up in the air about whether I would do it or not. My original plan was to do the CDT and then cut onto the alternate and do the second half of it. After those comments, I think I'm now just going to do the entire alternate. It's a tiny bit shorter and has less elevation gain anyway. And half of the comments say it's prettier anyway, and there's huckleberries. I love huckleberries. So alternate it is, and hopefully no grizzly bears. Hey bear. Hey bear. The huckleberries have died off, but there's still a few around for me to eat and enjoy. Good evening. I have just stopped to have dinner, and you may notice a nice wet patch on my shirt. Because I spilt dinner on myself, and I've tried to clean myself up so that I don't become bear fodder in the middle of the night as I lie in my tent. I believe that it's all wrapped up to protect it from a fire that was here a couple of months ago. Good morning. I survived another night without being ripped from my tent by a grizzly. In my head it helped that there was a stock camp the other side of the river. So I was like, surely they'll want the horses, right? A lot more meaty. So, another 2 or 3 nights to go in the Bob Marshall Wilderness. And now I have a 5-mile climb this morning. So hopefully I can get most of that done before the heat of the day kicks in. Almost at the top of my climb for today. Night 3 achieved, didn't get ripped from my tent. However, I've been walking for about 2-3 minutes from camp and this is what is on the trail. Bear turd. So apparently I could be ripped from my tent, but thankfully wasn't. So night 3 achieved. The sun this morning, and we all know what that means from last time. Don't know where the fire is, just smoke from it, but hopefully it's not affecting the trail. Yeah, I want to know. I know. Good morning. Night 4 in the Bob Marshall Wilderness, survived. And I'm thinking I might get out to the road and into town today, which would be exciting if that is the case. This is the trail. Good evening. I made it into East Glacier and then got a sweet hitch up to St Mary's, which is 30 miles away from East Glacier, but the closest ranger station that does permits for East Glacier. And they were amazing in getting me my permits, but yeah, not an easy system to get to where you actually need to get the permits in the first place. But I was hoping to be able to hitch back to East Glacier tonight so that I could resupply in the morning and then start hiking I tried for about 45 minutes and wasn't having any luck. So I figure I will just try again in the morning. So I did a bit of a resupply here in St Mary's, and yeah, and now just heading back to the hiker campsite, which I am booked into for tonight. I just would have rather I've got back to East Glacier to make things easier in the morning if possible. But this means that I only have 6 days of trail left, which is both exciting and also crazy. Glacier National Park, it's looking pretty good so far. But unfortunately, the weather is meant to come in tomorrow for the next 3 days, but then clear up. So hopefully my last 3 days in the park will be pretty nice. So you might get a few wet, soggy videos over the next few days. I reckon me and my phone, just as good as those guys. Made it through the bob without becoming a bear taco. Now just glacier to go.